Happy Friday, everyone. So we are down to the last wire in the Diddy's trial. And the last person that's going to testify is Bredan Paul, a former assistant of Diddy. And we're going to get down to the gritty and not figure out, but talk about it. And the case, actually the trial, is wrapping up very quickly and is down to the wire, you guys. We may know next week, guilty or not guilty. So we're going to dive in and talk about it. Welcome back to That's It. Okay, you guys. So Bredan Paul, former former assistant of Diddy. He was arrested back in. Let's see, my notes here. So I just want to make sure I got everything accurate. So he was arrested in Florida for the possession of cocaine. What a dummy! I have to say, like, why on earth would you have drugs in your possession while you're going to the airport, not knowing that you're going to be screened, checked, and everything? But anyway, he was arrested. But he was a former assistant of Diddy, and he testified today because obviously Wednesday the courthouse had to cut it short because one of the jurors had vertigo, which I don't even know how that feels, but someone told me that it's the worst feeling to have vertigo. So they had to cut the trial very short. And obviously, Thursday was a holiday. And then they resumed back on Friday, which is today. And Bredan Paul, as you can see, was testifying against Sean Diddy Combs. He signed up an immunity deal, plead, or whatever. So anything I can use against him, that he won't go to prison or jail. So the government used him as a witness to testify against Sean Diddy Combs. And to be honest with you, I don't know why, in my opinion, how he can be relevant. Yes, he worked for Diddy for a little bit, and he probably he supplied Diddy drugs and everything. But in my opinion, I don't think that he witnessed a lot of the freak off, the sex trafficking, the prostitution. I don't think he witnessed some of that stuff, and he even said it in his testimony. So I don't know. I just feel like the prosecution, in my opinion, wasted their time by having him take the stand and testify. I don't know. I don't understand why they're not bringing the big dogs. Why they're not bringing um, Christina Kamar, KK, D Rock, the people who testified before, and the witnesses. They mention these two people's names constantly, day in, throughout the trial. And for me, I'm very, what's the word? I'm flabbergasted that they have not used or have them subpoena to testify. Now, maybe they cut a deal. Maybe they don't want to testify against Sean Diddy Combs because maybe they believe in their hearts that Sean Diddy Combs will be acquitted, and then they don't want to be on Sean Diddy Combs' bad side. Maybe they're taking that chance and not snitching on him. That's the only thing I can think of why these two are not testifying against Sean Diddy Combs. Why they're not working on a deal. One, they're afraid of him probably. Two, they feel like he may be acquitted. That they're taking the chances basically. Okay, they're taking the chances and not saying anything and keeping their mouth shut. Their attorneys probably advise them not to say anything. So they're taking a big chance and a gamble, not saying anything and not cooperating with the government. Now, there's another possibility that maybe they feel like they're not incredible, meaning that they're probably not worth testifying, which I and everyone can agree with me, disagree with them because, KK, she's the main person who's seen everything. She was basically Diddy's right hand woman that did everything for Diddy, seen things, the things that was going on in Diddy's life. Diddy trusted her. She trusted him. Like, obviously, there was no romantic relationship involved, but basically, she was the operation of Bad Boy. Okay, she was the operation of everything that was going on in Diddy's life, in and out. So for me, it was just very hard to understand why the prosecution didn't use her as a witness or the defense team as well for her to testify on the behalf of Diddy. I don't know. To me, it didn't make any sense. But back to Paul. Now, so like I said, he granted an immunity deal. So basically, he have to tell the truth in the stand, and he cannot lie because if he lies, that's perjury, and he will go to jail. So this is the latest thing that happened in the trial today. So, in the text message entered by the prosecution from Cassidy Couture to Sean Combs on May 2nd of 2017, she said she didn't deserve to be beaten by him. That's not love. That's possession. Ventura wrote to him in a apparently reference to the infamous 2016 video tape beating. Now, Bredan Paul, Combs' former personal assistant, testified that during his employment, he was instructed to buy thousands of dollars worth of various drugs for Combs' use. The defense suggests his case could be shorter than anticipated with its witness list possibility completed by Wednesday. Now, it seems like this is going to be very short and quick on Diddy's defense team because, like I said, the prosecution having Bredan Paul testify, he's the last witness to testify. And as far as Diddy's defense team, it seems like Diddy's not going to take the stand. I guess they have to prep him, which I was really looking forward to him taking the stand and for him to testify on his behalf because he seemed like the type, that he wants to get his story out. He wants to tell his side of the story. It doesn't seem like he would like to keep quiet, But again, it's at the end of the day, it's his decision to take the stand or not. His lawyers can advise him not to do it, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's Diddy's decision. So I'm very surprised that they're not going to have him testify, and for him to. I'm very surprised Diddy is not volunteering to testify because it seems like, again, he's very arrogant, cocky, and he just wants the world to hear his side of the story. So I'm very surprised that he may not take the stand, and like I said, his attorney advised him that would not be good because the prosecution would tear his ass apart during the stand. So not maybe they advise him. I don't think it's wise. Continuing on. So basically, they they're going to cross-examine Brandon on Monday, wrap everything up, and then they might present their entire case on Tuesday and Wednesday. The defense team um, lawyer Brandon Steele told the courts. Now, to reiterate and to let you know what Combs is being charged for, basically he's being faced with 5 criminal counts: 1 count of racketeering and conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage prostitution. Now, Combs, Diddy, Puff, Diddler, he's been alleging saying that this is not true, this didn't happen. He denied all the allegation against him, and he pleads not guilty until this day. Okay. Now, this live briefing may include graphic descriptions of sexual violence, blah blah blah, and that's about it. So, like I said, we could expect a verdict by Friday, by next Friday. By next Friday, because remember, the judge want this trial to be done by July 4th, and we're down to the wire, guys. We're down to the wire, and it may be over by Friday. Now, the defense team said that they will need up to 5 days to present their case. That's fairly, a good time, a good days, to do what they need to do. But it's going really quickly, really fast because they have to do their closing argument on Thursday, and then next you know it, the whole world is going to know if Diddy is found guilty or not guilty, and the jurors, his life is on their hands. You know what I mean? And I have to say, watching throughout the whole trial, I feel like the prosecutor should have brought more. You know what I mean? More evidence to the table. They did a great job, obviously. They did a great job, but I just feel like they should have done more and presented more evidence, more people to testify. But they did what they can, even though they had so much evidence that they possessed in them when they raided his home in Miami and Los Angeles last year. but I don't know. I just feel like I wanted more, even though some of the testimonies were really good, but some of them was very damaging as well, in my opinion, with Jane and also who else? Who else testified? I feel like um, was a little off. Jane and someone else. I can't remember at the top of my head right now. But you know what? I don't know. I just feel like the defense team, they're just going to have a few days to plead their case and that's it. Usually it takes longer, but I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm worried, but it just, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the defense team feel like they have it in the bag, meaning that, they don't have to present that much evidence. They don't have to present that much people to testify in behalf of Diddy, and it is going to have a few people testify, then do cross arguments, and then that's it. And I'm like, okay, do they know something that we don't know? Because they seem very confident that Diddy may get out. And obviously the defense team have to feel that way and encourage their clients. We don't know what they're feeling deep down. If he's going to be guilty or not guilty, it can work either way. To be honest with you, we don't know. We don't know until the verdict comes in. And like I said in my previous video, I had a prediction that he's going to be found guilty. But again, it all can turn around. It all can switch up. We just don't know. But again, this case has been crazy from the beginning. Testimonies after testimonies, things that happen during the court, outside the court, and it's been a ride. It has been, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to finding out the verdict and getting on with their lives. And I just hope and pray there is justice for the victims that were involved in Sean Diddy Combs' rap, and hopefully the jurors will make a good, rational decision, follow the evidence, follow everything that was presented to them, and see what happens. See what happens. At the end of the day, it's in God's hands, it's in the jury's hands, and Diddy's life is in their hands. His fate is in these 12 jurors' hands. You know what I mean? It relies on them and what they gather and all the information that they have seen, heard, and everything. So at the end of the day, we will know by next week, probably, before the 4th of July holiday, if Diddy is found innocent, guilty or not guilty, whatever, innocent or guilty, you get what I'm saying. It's the same thing. So I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna stick with it. I believe that they're going to find him guilty at one of those counts. I don't know, and they may find him the sex trafficking not guilty. They might find prostitution, engaged in transportation and prostitution guilty. We don't know. They just only need only one guilty, and then he may face the rest of his life in prison. So they only need one. So time will tell, and we just have to wait and see. And like I said, this is wrapping up very, very quickly, you guys. And that's all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think about this video. If you do like it, please like, share, and subscribe. And have a great weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday. Take care.